channel, and today it is Spotlight Hour again. It's Tuesday at 6 p.m. Spotlight Hour every week, and as you've just seen, Pikachus with the cake hat costume have just appeared. They are the featured Pokemon during this Spotlight Hour on this Tuesday. So it is available shiny, this costume hat Pikachu. It's been around for a couple of years now, the cake hat Pikachu. First got released probably about 2 years ago now, again for the Pokemon GO anniversary event. So the game's just glitched out for a second. If your game does glitch where you can't actually rotate, just get your buddy out and then back out again, and it will fix that, so you can actually go and play the game normally. But yeah, so Pikachu with the cake hat costume got released a couple of years ago now, again for the Pokemon anniversary event. So this is an event obviously celebrating the birthday of Pokemon GO, if you want, and it's actually not too bad an event. We tend to get these costume Pokemon appearing in the wild. We've had the introduction of Grimer with a party hat this time around during this event, and it sort of makes me wonder that, because last year we had the ability to evolve Squirtle with a party hat all the way up into Blastoise, and you could also, if you were very lucky, you could encounter a Blastoise in the wild last year with a party hat, which could be shiny as well. We also have an in Mega Evolution. You could find that shiny in the wild. The year before, they released the Charizard as well, so you could find Charizard in the wild, shiny with a party hat, and also they released the ability to be able to evolve Charmander with a party hat all the way and up to Charizard. But Bulbasaur kind of been left out. So as of now, but you can't actually evolve a party hat Bulbasaur. They've done the other two. They've done the Squirtle, they've done the Charmander, but as of now, at the moment in time, you can't evolve Bulbasaur with a party hat all the way. Now it does raise a question why that wasn't released this year, with it following the pattern. Like I say, a couple of years ago we had the release of a Charizard being able to have a party hat, evolving Charmander all the way. Last year was Blastoise turn, and then this year was expected to be Venusaur, but they've just sort of skipped it out and gone straight to Muck, which seems a little bit weird. Obviously Niantic have got some method behind that madness, but hopefully next year we might see the introduction of Bulbasaur with a party hat in Pokemon GO. And obviously if past events are anything to go by, you'll be able to find it wild as well, so encountering a Venusaur with a party hat would be pretty cool, especially if you can manage to get one shiny. But as for this event, at the moment, Pikachu with the party hat costume is back around. We also have the Eevee with a party hat. Then we also have the 3 Kanto starter Pokemon, all with party hats. So there's a few costume Pokemons about, plus also now the inclusion of party hat Grimer as well, which you can evolve straight from it being released. So you can evolve it into that party hat Muck we've just been talking about. So there is quite a few party hat Pokemon at the moment during the anniversary event, as to be expected. But this little Pikachu with the party hat, the cake hat, is definitely one that I want shiny. Obviously Pikachu has been featured in many costume events over the last couple of years of Pokemon GO. It is definitely the go-to for Niantic to give a costume to. It's actually really weird seeing Pikachu in the wild without any sort of costume on, just because of how much it gets included in these sort of events with costumes on. So whenever you're out of a current event and you end up seeing a Pikachu there, it is super weird seeing it without any costume on. But we're going to go ahead and use the daily incense. So in terms of Spotlight Hour, every week 6 till 7 on a Tuesday, a specific Pokemon gets featured, as with the Pikachu with a party hat today. And there's also an inclusion of an additional bonus. Today's bonus is 2 times Stardust. So 2 times catch Stardust. Well, actually, I'll reframe that. We have 2 times XP for the Spotlight Hour, but inclusion of the anniversary event, we also have 2 times catch Stardust. So you actually get both at the moment during this hour. You get the double XP for catching during this hour. So any excellent throw, as you can see here, hopefully this Pikachu stays in the ball and I'll be able to show you. There we go. So any excellent throw that you get during the hour will be 2000 XP for that excellent throw instead of a normal 1000. And the Stardust is doubled as well due to the current anniversary event. So with the anniversary event, it's been going on for 6 days in total. It finishes tomorrow. And each 2 days we've had different bonuses. So for the first 2 days we had hatch distance was halved. So when you put a 10k egg on, for example, in a normal incubator, it went down to 5 straight away. So half egg hatch distance for those first 2 days of the event. The next 2 days we went to double XP, so double catch XP for the next 2 days. And then for the last 2 days we've had double catch Stardust, so hence why you now get both of these bonuses during this Spotlight Hour. But it is definitely a Pikachu I want shiny. As always, I probably prefer the flat-tailed Pikachu, the boy Pikachu. The girl Pikachu tends to have the little love heart shape on the end of its tail. So, as in terms of retro, that was definitely the Pikachu that Ash had on the series. So I definitely would prefer a boy Pikachu, sorry. But if a girl one shines, I won't be too fussed either. So hopefully we can get one on stream. Hoping desperately to get one this event. Now we're going to see how we get on for the first part of this Spotlight Hour. If we do start to struggle for spawns anyway, or we are running out of time and we want that shiny, we have also got a backup option, which I'll explain in a little bit, where we can get a few more spawns peering around us. So let's hope that we don't have to do that, but if we do, there's always that option there. So shiny Sandile, that's my buddy at the moment. Hatched just a couple of weeks ago from a 12k egg and was super happy when that hatched. So I think it's not overly good on the stats. It's definitely a 3-star, but it's only just a 3-star probably. Disturbing the sheep in this field as I'm walking through, talking about Pikachus. They're all looking at me thinking, what the hell is Pikachu? But yeah, so Ultra Buddies now, that's good. So yeah, shiny Sandile. Currently working on around about 21 buddies a day, so doing every single swap that I can, working on a different buddy every time I swap it out. So we'll go for Beware at the moment. If you don't know already, I do go a bit crazy with buddies. So at the start of the year, I targeted to do 500 million XP, of which at the start of the year I started at 334 million. So that's an increase of 166 million in 1 year. And also at the start of the year, I targeted to get to 500 best buddies, which meant exactly the same amount of increase because I started on 334 best buddies. So another 166 best buddies, which on average is around about 14 best buddies every month. Bit of a challenge. So far, not been going overly great, but there will be a little bit of a progress update video coming out very soon on my channel, where you can see how we got on during the month of June. So make sure to subscribe to my channel to hear how we're getting on with that challenge. let's just catch these Pikachu that are currently sat around here. So Pikachu is quite notably difficult to catch sometimes. Doesn't want to stay in the ball, especially when it sees higher CPs. Anything over sort of around 500 CP and up tends to be a bit more difficult to catch. You'll see the catch ring go red. Hopefully they're not too bad at this spotlight hour. Luckily none of them seem to be weather boosted at this moment in time. Windy weather in game, so we're okay for that. If it turns into rainy weather, you might soon start getting a little bit harder to catch, so I'll have to keep an eye on that into the second half of this raid hour. But it would be really nice to get, if not a shiny one of these, a hundo. Definitely would end up best buddying that if I ended up getting one. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button on my channel. Turn on that notification bell as well. We try and do these spotlight hour videos every week if I can. So make sure to try and tune in every week if you enjoy watching them. So being that we've got a new buddy out, we'll try and do a route here as well in just a second. So daily incense as well, also lasting double the amount of time during 6th anniversary event. So that's now lasting half an hour instead of a standard 15 minutes. So you get twice as long to try and encounter one of the Galarian birds, which everybody wants from the daily incense. I've also heard reports of people getting unknowns as well from the daily incense randomly, which is quite cool. I've not managed to get any unknowns off my daily incense, unfortunately, but I had heard a couple of reports of people doing so. You have to let me know in the comments below if you've managed to get anything really obscure off your daily incense. What's the weirdest thing you've had off your daily incense? Let me know in the comments below. So the spawn spots around here are pretty insane really. So we won't go too much into trying to catch every one of these. We'll just try and shiny check as many as we can, because like I say, Pikachu is going to be a little bit of a pain to catch all of. So even though it is at 2 times catch XP, we will chuck a few balls at it. But as you can see, we are running a little bit low on Pokeballs, and we don't want to waste them all as we head into the last couple of weeks until Go Fest. So not this weekend, the week after it will be Global Go Fest. This weekend is actually the Go Fest in New York City, so if you're doing that, super hyped for that, I'm sure. You have to let me know if you get anything good. Comment on my videos if you are attending that, and let me know anything that you get decent. Shiny Necrozma definitely looks a really cool shiny during this Global Go Fest. I'm really excited to get quite a few of them actually. Obviously New York City, the featured shiny of the Go Fest at New York City is Ducklet. So there will be an event in line with a global event in line with the New York City Go Fest, where you can get shiny Ducklet, similar to the Cabrawler when that got released during the Madrid Go Fest. It'll probably be full odd shiny, so 1 in 512, very similar to this Pikachu that we're hunting today. So full odds, whereas obviously if you attend the event, it'll be a lot boosted, as with all of the in-person events around Go Fest. So hopefully if you manage to get to New York City, you'll manage to get your hands on the new shiny Ducklet. It does look a really cool shiny, turning pink instead of a normal blue. So we'll just shiny check a few of these and try and move on. Want to try and get to as many Pikachu as we can. Don't want to get too stuck behind ourselves trying to catch all of these. Probably won't be walking back this way, so we haven't got any possibility of coming back the same route and not knowing which ones we've clicked on and which ones we haven't. So we will just shiny check these ones around here. Fortunately no shiny so far. Daily Incense has just spawned a Wormpool, so that's nice. Wormpool wants to get in on the Pikachu action. Just trying to blend in, pretending he's a Pikachu. Trying his best. What are the chances that Wormpool's going to be shiny? Thank God it wasn't. So some more Pikachus. Really good spawn spots up here, as I always mention. Trying to get the one that's on the incense, there we go. It's really annoying when we spawn just under the stops, especially when there's a rocket on the stop. You always end up clicking multiple times on the rocket before you actually end up getting a Pokemon like you want. So that is very annoying. Vulpix now, trying to get in on the Pikachu action. So I'm unsure if I've actually checked some of these Pikachus now. With us going around this corner. Definitely haven't checked any behind the back of there. Let's see if any of these sparkle for us. So during the event, the 8th birthday event of Pokemon GO, during the event, all these costume Pokemon as well that we spoke about before. So we have Costume Pikachu, obviously. We also have Costume Grimer, the brand new costume Pokemon, the one with a party hat. We also have Party Hat Bulbasaur, Party Hat Squirtle, Party Hat Charmander, and also Party Hat Eevee. All those are featured on 1-star raids. So if you see any of your pink 1-star raid eggs around you, so not the shadow ones, just the normal pink 1-star raids, then it will hatch into one of the costume Pokemon that are featured during this event. Now, it is a boosted shiny, but only in raids. So all of the costume Pokemon that are featured during this event, so all those that we've just listed, including this Pikachu, if you were to raid it, then you have a 1 in 64 chance of getting it shiny. But in the wild, it is 1 in 512. So it's full odds in the wild and 1 in 64 off raids. So if you are really struggling to get a shiny, you want better chances of getting a shiny, then try and do a couple of raids near you. I did a Charmander raid first thing, I think it was first thing yesterday morning or first thing this morning, and I managed to get a shiny, so super happy about that. That was the only one of the 3 starter Pokemon that I hadn't got with a Party Hat shiny before, so I was super happy to hatch one of those. So that finishes off the first 3 with Party Hats. I still haven't got an Eevee yet, and I'm of course missing this Party Cake Pikachu hat. So hopefully we can get one. 20 minutes down of the spotlight hour, so a third of the way, and unfortunately not seeing a shiny Pikachu so far, but hoping all you lot watching are sending me good vibes, and hopefully we can get that shiny for you live on stream. So keep watching, keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully we can get it. And as always, if we do manage to get shiny, the first one to comment down below shiny when it appears, I'll rename my Pikachu into your YouTube name or any name you choose. I will rename it. You can come up with a little nickname for Pikachu if you want to, and I'll rename it into that, as long as it's not rude, of course. Pokemon GO will not allow rude words. So there's a few less Pikachu around here, so I'll get back to catching a few as we're walking around. Try and take my time and just do those excellent throws. 2000, around 2400 XP is definitely worth just taking your time and trying to get an excellent throw on these. As long as he's staying the ball, of course. So we forgot to do a route so far with our little buddy. So we'll try and see if there's one down here that we can start in just a moment. Daily incense? No, unfortunately not. Still no shiny just as of yet. So it's a little bit chillier here today in the UK. Not overly. We've had a little bit of a sun and we've had a little bit of rain as well over the last couple of days. Perhaps the sun that we've had over the last few weeks, perhaps that was our summer, I'm not too sure. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can see a bit more sun over the next couple of weeks, especially during Global GO Fest. Don't want it to be raining that weekend, that's for sure. So I will be doing a video this weekend as well, talking about the Global GO Fest. Obviously, like I mentioned before, it is the New York City GO Fest, but we'll be focusing on the Global GO Fest because I'm quite sure all of you watching this will be attending that Global GO Fest wherever you are. And I'm sure there's some shinies and some habitats that you're all really interested in during the 2 days. So the first day we'll get the habitats which rotate every hour. So there's 4 habitats rotating around twice. So you get 2 chances at every habitat, but rotating around once every hour. And then on the 5th hour, the first habitat will be repeated, and the 6th hour, the second one, and so on and so forth. And then on the Sunday, there won't be any habitats. It will just be everything all at once. Unlike the GO Tour, which we had earlier in the year, I believe both Saturday and Sunday had habitats for that event. Whereas this event is back to the old way of doing it. I think it's always been done this way during GO Fest. We have the habitats on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, everything that's within those habitats all appear, or all have a chance of appearing in the wild. And then Sunday is mainly the day where people go after certain things, but more so focus on raids in particular. So that's definitely what I'll be doing. But like I say, there'll be a video coming up on my channel later this week where we talk about the habitats, what you can expect to find in each habitat, the times of the event, all the Pokemon spawns, what's going to be on raids. We'll discuss it all during the video later this week. So keep your eyes peeled for that as we head into the final week before GO Fest. And of course, next week, there won't be a Spotlight Hour video next week, because every day next week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, will all have a raid hour. Now, in weird scenario, there'll also be a spotlight hour next week, but I will be doing the raid hour with my community, hence why I won't be doing a YouTube video of the spotlight hour, but it will be Sphere spotlight hour next week, but that does clash with Nihilego raid hour. So the format for next week, every day we'll have a different Ultra Beast, and it will only be on raids for one day. So I believe Monday we start off with Guzzlord. So Guzzlord, obviously shiny, got released quite a while ago now, white coloured shiny. I think we've managed to get one. Let's just start this route. Wow, there's loads of spawns around here. So let's just check these Pikachu spawns and then we'll get talking about the raids next week. So we'll just check these Pikachus again. Make sure they're not shiny before we move on. We can discuss more about the raids. Hoping the route won't pause while we're just checking these. There we go, we checked most of them now, if not all of them. Check that one under a stop again, just double check that one, just to make sure we've checked it. So as we're saying, next week all the Ultra Beasts will be featured on raids, and what we'll get is we will get Guzzlord on the Monday. So as we were saying before, that shiny has already been released quite some time ago now, and it is actually an Ultra Beast that you can solo as well. So you could try and solo that Guzzlord. I believe there is a solo video up on my channel. If you go on my channel and search for the tag, or go down the videos, there'll be a little section called solo challenges, and on that section you'll find a Guzzlord solo video, and I'm quite sure during that day I'll try and get another video up of another solo if I can, but if not, check out my past videos and find that Guzzlord solo and give it a go yourself. Let me know how you get on the comments of that video. So Guzzlord featured on the Monday, so let's type in shiny Guzzlord so you can see what that looks like. So there it is, very, very nice shiny Ultra Beast. I've been really impressed with the shiny versions of all the Ultra Beasts, to be honest. They are really, really good shinies, all of them are. But yeah, that's shiny Guzzlord. Second day, on the Tuesday next week, will be Nihilego's turn. So that's a little jellyfish. Unfortunately, I've still not managed to get a shiny one of them, but that again got its shiny release about a year ago now, along with Guzzlord. It had its shiny release similar time. So Nihilego, instead of being a jellyfish with little blue details around its frills and everything, it goes to gold. So it looks really, really cool, that one does. Unfortunately, like I say, not managed to get one myself just yet. Hoping to get one next Tuesday during the raid hour. So that's a raid hour that clashes with the Sphere spotlight hour next week, hence why we won't be live next week, but we will be back a week after, so keep an eye out for the video the week after next. So on Wednesday next week, which is obviously the normal raid hour day, but Wednesday next week we'll have the return of Kartana or Sally Stealer, depending on which region you're in. So us in the UK and in the Northern Hemisphere, we will get Kartana. Anybody under the southern hemisphere, so underneath the equator line, they will get the Celesteela. Both can be available shiny now, having it shiny released about 2 or 3 months ago now. Both of them look really, really cool shinies. So again, only managed to get Kartana shiny, with that being in my region. I have done a few Celesteela raids through remote invites, but still not managed to get that one shiny just yet. So if you are on my friends list on Pokemon Go and you live in the southern hemisphere, make sure to send me some Celesteela invites and I'll return a favour with some Kartana ones. Following on from that, on Thursday next week, we will see return of Stakataka in the eastern hemisphere, and in the western hemisphere we will get Blaziophalon. So Blaziophalon is like a little clown one, the clown ultra beast. We'll get that back again in the UK. I believe if you go anywhere east of London in the UK, you can actually jump onto the eastern hemisphere, so that it goes down the GMT line. So if you are east of the GMT line, so that's anything east of sort of London, Paris way, then you will be able to get the Stakataka. Whereas anything west of that, you'll get Blaziophalon. Both of those, unfortunately, shinies not available. So that is the only ones next week during raid hours where you can't get the shinies. And then obviously Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but only on Friday, the raid hour will be the brand new shiny, depending on where you are again. It'll be either Pheromosa. If you're in Europe, it'll be Exertry. I believe Exertry is more Southern America, I could be wrong there, but it's either Pheromosa, Exertry or Buzzwole, depending on where you live, what you normally get. So they will be all around, and them have all had their shiny released during this past couple of weeks during the Go Fest, the in-person Go Fest. So if you've been lucky enough to attend one of the in-person Go Fest over the last couple of weeks, then you've probably got your hands on, or hopefully you've got your hands on, a shiny one of those. And if you're lucky enough, it would have had the background of where you were at as well. If you're in Madrid, for example, it would have had the little Madrid background, which is really, really cool. So hopefully you've managed to get one of those if you did attend. I think last year when I attended the London Go Fest, the only shiny legendary one that I managed to get was Yveltal, but it did have a London background. It does only have a chance of having a London background, or the event background, the location background. Luckily mine did have the London background, so that's really, really cool. So 34 minutes in, and we've still not had a shiny Pikachu appear as of yet. So we're heading down to where we normally get quite a bit of luck. Had quite a few shinies during spotlight hours down towards the bottom end of where we're going, but it does mean we'll be coming back on ourselves, so I'll try and catch these around here just so we don't get hit with not knowing which ones we've caught and which ones we haven't on the way back. So daily incense finished, 35 minutes into the spotlight hour, still no shiny as of yet. We will check to see if we've got any hundos closer towards the end. So let's head further down the road, and then we'll finish that route off when we start walking back up. So just coming out onto the main road, so apologies if you do pick up the traffic noise in the microphone. So during the 8th anniversary as well, there's some research tasks on Pokestops, and they all reward the starter Pokemon of every single region that's been released. So there's 9 different gens that have been released so far, and the starter Pokemon that you'll get from a research task coincides as well with the number on the research task. So for example, use 6 berries to help catch Pokemon. That will be one of the starter Pokemon from the 6th generation. Take 3 snapshots of wild Pokemon. That will be one of the starter Pokemon from the 3rd generation. So that's how it works. I think there is just one that says take a snapshot of a wild Pokemon, and that is obviously the 1st generation, the Kanto region. Unfortunately, any of those starter Pokemon will not be wearing the costume. They are just the standard starter Pokemon, no costume, so you can't use that as a way to get a shiny costume Squirtle, Bulbasaur or Charmander, unfortunately. There is quite a few Pikachus just around here, so we'll just get these before we move on. So it's not too bad to do an excellent throw on Pikachu. Obviously, with him being featured in a lot of events, you soon learn and get the muscle memory of whereabouts it is you've got to throw. Obviously, it's a little bit harder when you're walking. It is, as with everything, just all about the muscle memory. The more you'll see it, and the more you'll get better at throwing at it. Definitely something that you can tell during spotlight hours or community days. You'll start off not being able to throw at the featured Pokemon, and then by the time the event's finished, you're almost hitting excellent throws every time. So don't be disappointed if you are struggling at first. We all struggle when these Pokemon get featured for the first time on these events. Just stick with it, and I'm quite sure you'll get the knack of it very soon. I think it was last spotlight hour when we was down here, we did have a few little issues with the connection, so apologies if the signal does seem to drop out a bit around here. Hopefully we fixed it. We never normally have problems, but I know last week we did, so let's see if it's okay this week. Last week we did start really lagging down here, going very, very glitchy and very, very slow. Hopefully we can prevent that again. Hopefully it's returned back to normal. But this is normally my lucky spot when it comes to spotlight hours. If ever the featured spotlight hour Pokemon is going to shine, it tends to be down here. Not always, of course, but quite often it has done when I've been down this area. So let's see if this party hat, or this party cake hat Pikachu, can be shiny down here. So we'll try and catch them all as they're appearing. We're of course running a little bit low on Pokeballs at the moment, but we will try and catch these just so we know which ones we have caught and which ones we haven't. I really do like the new backgrounds on the catch screen. It does get a little bit funky when it gets to dawn or dusk, when there seems to be a little bit of a light hitting Pokemon. Sometimes, especially Pikachu, tends to look shiny in those sort of conditions when it isn't. So you get really excited for a moment and then you don't see it sparkle and you sort of understand that, yeah, it's not shiny, it's just a background. But it's really, really nice seeing all these new backgrounds. My favourite ones are probably the forest background and the beach background. But let me know which one's your favourite of the new Pokemon backgrounds. Definitely makes it a more attractive game to play with those backgrounds. So 42 minutes past 6, so we have just shy of 18 minutes left to play of this Spotlight Hour. And still no Pikachu sparkles for us as of yet. So we'll try and walk around this area as quick as we can, head back out onto the main road and back up the way we came, but in an opposite direction as we head up there, to hopefully get the last few spawns in a few other good spots I know around here. Hopefully one of these will be a shiny. So as we were saying before, there is a little tool you can use if you are struggling on these. Then you can use Palkia with the adventure effect. So let's go to a Palkia here. Spatial Rend. If we use Spatial Rend for the last 10 minutes, shall we use it for? Well, let's use it for the last 20 minutes. So we have 17 minutes left of the Spotlight Hour. Palkia will use Spatial Rend. Costs 10,000 dust. So 5,000 every 10 minutes. And it costs Palkia candy as well. But what that does is, as you can see on the screen, it increases the spawn radius of what Pokemon spawn at. So you can see now the additional spawn radius that has appeared. And that's really, really going to affect how much spawns we manage to get, especially when we get towards the road again, where the spawn spots are a bit further out on the road and in some of the fields, opposite side, both sides of the road. Then we'll definitely see that effect in action. Last time I used this effect was around about 6 to 8 weeks ago now, when it was Marini Spotlight Hour. It was the event where Marini got really shiny, and on the last day of that event it got featured in the Spotlight Hour. I believe it was the last weekend in May, if I was right. And during that event, during the Spotlight Hour, we put on the Spatial Rend, the Palkia adventure effect, and we ended up actually getting 2 shiny Marinis from that Spotlight Hour, and I believe both of those are definitely one of them. I remember getting one of them that we wouldn't have otherwise got if we didn't use the effect, because it would have been too far out of reach from where we were walking, so we would have never have known it was even there. So we definitely got one of the shinies thanks to that adventure effect. So let's see if it works for us again in the last 20 minutes of this Spotlight Hour. But as you can see, there's Pikachus now appearing all the way across there. You can see from the effect how far it's going out. Really, really is impressive. This also means if you're walking down the pavement on a main road or anything like that, then sometimes you have to walk on one side, and then when you walk back up the other way, walk on the opposite side of the road to get spawns that appear in the fields on the opposite side. This means you don't really have to do that. You can just do it in one sweep, get both sides done, because the adventure effect is making you see all those spawns that would otherwise be you'd only see if you crossed over a road. So super, super useful. Definitely an effect worth noting down in those habitats for Global Go Fest. If there's anything you really want off a habitat during Global Go Fest, if there's a specific habitat that you want a specific shiny from, so Jangamo is going to be released in one of the habitats, then if you want that shiny, or if you want a different shiny, use it during that habitat and you'll get spawns a lot further away, increasing your chances of getting that shiny that you really want. So definitely worth noting down. And also, if you've got loads of rare candy, if it is an adventure effect that you are going to be using quite a lot, then if you've got any rare candy, you can pump that into Palkia, so that you've always got Palkia candy ready to use. Now, unlike the Mega Rayquaza, when you use a Meteorite gem on it doesn't have to be the same Palkia every time that you use a special effect on it. It can be any Palkia. It can be a Palkia you use that you've later delete. It won't affect it at all. As long as it's got the spatial rend move, it will have the effect that you can use. But it is such an improvement. When the effects first got announced, so we had the Origin form Palkia with the spatial rend, and we had the Dialga with the Roar of Time. It was more so the Dialga I'm interested in. Roar of Time allows you to extend time on a lucky egg, an incense, a star piece, anything that has a timer that you put on in game. It allows you to extend those times by several minutes. Again, using Palkia, using Dialga, Candy, and Stardust, combination of both allows you to do that. And it was when the effects first got announced, it was definitely that one that I thought was going to be more useful on the game. But as it's progressed over the last 6 to 8 months since their release, it's definitely been the spatial rend on Palkia that I found the more useful. I've never actually used the Roar of Time, mainly due to the benefit that you get for the cost. It's not many times where you want to increase a lucky egg or star piece. If you do, you end up just putting one on. And if you're anything like myself, I'll end up buying raid passes when we're in decent value boxes in the shop, and what comes mostly in those boxes with raid passes tends to be lucky eggs and star pieces, so you never end up running out of lucky eggs or star pieces. Whereas in quite remote places like these, where I am now, you do struggle to get spawns around you. So that adventure effect that Palkia gives out really does change the game and allow you to see a lot more than you would otherwise be able to see. So we have 10 minutes left of the spotlight hour, 10 minutes to get this shiny Pikachu with a costume. Too busy concentrating on where the Pikachus are. I'm not seeing all the tree branches, so if I get taken out by a tree branch live on stream, that would be quite funny. Would be painful as well, but would be quite funny for you lot. So raid hour tomorrow will be the current legendary Pokemon that's featured on raids, Ho-Oh. So Ho-Oh returned to us a couple of days ago now. I think it was in coincidence with the start of the 8th anniversary event. So around about Friday last week, Ho-Oh returned on raids, and it will be Ho-Oh raid hour wherever you are tomorrow, 6 PM till 7 PM local time, as with every Wednesday. But Ho-Oh, although not amazing in terms of usefulness for PvE, that's battling gyms and obviously raids, although not amazingly useful for that aspect of the game, it is a really nice shiny to get. The Ho-Oh turning from red to gold really is a cool shiny to have. So the last 8 minutes we'll just shiny check some of these Pikachus now as we head up, try and get to as many Pikachus as we can, shiny checking them along the way. We won't try and catch too many of these, being that we're within the last 10 minutes of the spotlight hour. Just trying to check them in the most methodical way possible so we don't miss any. Check those behind the gym first. Definitely going to be a lot more to check with this spatial rend on. There's one where we're stood now that we haven't checked. He's in a line. Underneath the gym. No, the shiny is not hiding under the gym. Where is that shiny? There's definitely one near about somewhere. You're never too far away from a shiny, it's just finding it, which is the problem. Try and spin some of these stops as well as we're walking, just try and recoup on some of those Pokeballs that we've used. We should be able to finish the route off in a minute as well. A lot of Pikachus to check before then though. Sure to keep our eyes open while we're walking as well. So at the end of the route, even though we've gone off path, it will still end, and we still have a chance of getting a Zygarde cell as well, even though we have wandered off the route. As long as you start a route at the start and you finish it at the finish, doesn't matter too much how far you go off route. As long as it's over the distance and not under, as long as you haven't taken any shortcuts, then it will finish okay when you get there. You don't have to pause it and go back to where you paused along the route. If you are going to veer off course, just let it follow you and it will still be following you even when you get towards the end. Spin this stop, try and get out one behind that stop. So the little route button's flashing now, we can finish the route. 5 minutes left to go of this spotlight hour. Five more minutes to try and get this shiny Pikachu. this costume shiny Pikachu that we've never had before. Only a few more minutes left. Spin these Pokestops that we can reach around here. So as you can see, really impressed with how far out this adventure effect reaches. You can see here on the right of us, really far out. These are spawns that I would never normally see. So even an added bonus if one of these sparkles for us. We would have otherwise never known it was there. So fingers crossed, we must be heading towards the last 3 minutes now of Spotlight Hour. Try not to forget those ones on the left. There it is, 3 minutes left to go. Are we going to be able to find this shiny Pikachu? It's looking incredibly unlikely as we head to the last 3 minutes, but we won't give up. We'll keep going. Clicking on the same one won't help. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep re-rolling the shiny. Check the more times you click on the same one. That would be nice. You just stand there clicking on the same one all day until it sparkled. But no, unfortunately that's not a feature on the game. So into the last 2 minutes of the Spotlight Hour. The party cake, hat Pokemon, costume Pokemon Pikachu appears to be avoiding me at the moment. Hoping this last little stretch here that we can hopefully do in time will reveal the shiny in the last dying moments. Checking which ones I've already checked now, I think. Unsure which ones I've checked and not. Trying to get to as many as I can. Last minute. Walking a little bit faster now, trying to get to all these that we can. Are any of these Pikachus around here shiny? Must be the last few clicks now. Surely it's not going to be in the last few clicks, is it? One behind the back of the gym. Oh, and there we go. It's finished. Unfortunately, no shiny Pikachu with the party hat this time round. It will still be featured on the event until tomorrow, and as always there is those 1-star raids as well where it's featured and boosted. So for instance, this little pink egg here will hatch into a costume Pokemon, potentially Pikachu, but we'll have to wait and find out to which one that will hatch into. As we're saying, they are boosted on the 1-star raids, 1 in 64 chance off 1-star raids, 1 in 512 in the wild. Unfortunately, tonight's Spotlight Hour wasn't meant to be. No shinies off the Spotlight Hour. Let's see if we manage to get any hundos today during that spotlight hour. So no hundos, age 0 and 4-star reveals, no hundos. Any decent Pikachus during that spotlight hour. So we did have quite a few 3-star, 4-stars, or obviously 3-stars. We know we didn't get any 4-stars. So there we go, 69. Here's a 96 IV. So other than that, we didn't get too many decent ones. That's probably the best one I've managed to get actually this event so far. Obviously we didn't catch them all. There might have been a hundo out there somewhere, but we didn't find it during this spotlight hour. So let me know in the comments below if you've managed to find a shiny cake hat Pikachu during this event. Let me know. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the spotlight hour. Hopefully you have a good week next week as well during the raid hours. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this 8th anniversary event. I will catch you soon, shortly on the channel. Keep an eye out for the videos coming up later this week regarding the GoFest global event. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.